Be Your Best You, the Passionate to Purpose podcast with David Delaney. Good morning and welcome to the podcast, Be Your Best You with me, David Delaney. This morning we talk about finding freedom, not just on the dance floor, but through lyrics. And Debby Brennan joins us to chat about Fading Queen of the Dancefloor, which is a new release by herself and GosiaG Music. Debby and Gosia collaborated in this track, and as Debby says herself, I provided the lyrics and Gosia did the rest, and she describes that in a most wonderful way as we chat. So grab your glitter and shimmy into the dance floor and dance like no one's watching, because it's time to let yourself go. Debby Brennan. Debby, good morning.
Hiya, how are you?
I'm good. It's wonderful to have you here on the podcast this morning. A lovely, interesting autumn/winter vibe going on out there. And but look, we're here to talk about all things wonderfully musical. Deb, tell me a little bit. So your single, "Fading Queen," new single coming out on the 25th. So that is as we're recording this is out, and it's out there in the musical universe. And it's you describe it to me as being lost and visible, and how you need to find yourself and shine. Tell me a little bit about the single and how it came about.
Well, basically, I have a few friends. My friend Steph, I would text her most days, just talking shite, basically. And then sometimes something would come up and I would put a line out and she'd say, that's a good idea for a song. So I think it was last September, October, I'd sent her a text and we were talking about Christmas last year, what the pubs would be like about opening up after COVID, because the previous year I turned 50 and obviously we couldn't do anything. So we were just texting about that. And I said, it'd be great to go to the dancing. And she said, yeah. And she said, geez, it would be almost like we haven't done it in ages. And I said, and I said, text back and said, Rusty Queens of the Dance Floor. That is what I said, Rusty Queens. And then I texted her back again and I went, geez, that's a great name for a song. And she said, write it. So because I was in the zone, because this sometimes happens when I'm writing something will catch my eye or my imagination and I go to it straight away. So it was about 10-15 minutes later, I came back with a verse and a chorus and the start of a second verse. And I texted it to her and she says, oh, geez, that's brilliant. So, and I said, do you know what? I might send it to Gosia and see what she thinks, because the chorus seemed to be catchy, although it was Rusty Queens at that point. So I did a bit of work. I think I sent it to her and within a few minutes or maybe half an hour or something like that, it was a short period anyway, she came back with a kind of a melody quite quickly. So then I said, look, it's not finished, obviously. I said, so I'll work on it. And I changed it. I just thought Rusty it was funny, but the way the lyrics were going, it didn't seem to be as funny. So I changed it to Fading Queen. Okay. And that's how it came about, you know? Okay.
And Gosia, your collaborator on musical projects, Gosia is actually recording today, so she can't be with us. Yeah. So is that generally the process that you guys, you will write a lyric and then give it to Gosia and she'd come back on a melody, or do you work together sometimes? Or tell me about the process that you guys have for creativity.
The song that was previous, it was a poem that I'd written and I thought this could be a song. And it was the start of COVID, and I just happened to see Gosia in Pettitt's car park in a tie. And I went, oh, and I was like, hiya, Gosia. And I said, how are you? And I said, would you be interested in putting music to a song that I have? And she said, yeah. So that was the previous song. That's how that came about. Now that was a bit of to and fro, and she had a melody and I changed the lyrics slightly. And then I had a couple of other songs that I just give the lyrics to, because I'm not musical. I can sing, but it's totally out of tune. And I'm trying to learn the guitar. I'm not very musical. So I would have to rely on somebody else to sing and to put a melody to it. So that's how it works. if I have lyrics for a song, I'll give it to Gosia and see what she comes up with. So that's what we have done in the past. We've never actually, we sat down together once to maybe try and brainstorm, but nothing came of it at the time. She just gave me a rough idea what she'd like to sing. You know,
Debbie, where was this till now? You mentioned a certain age there. Okay, where the lyrics and this creativity, and like, is this the first time you have done kind of out there, seen Gosia in the car park, said, hey, I'm going to do something about this? Where has it been till now? Tell me about that.
Oh, it's been hidden in the back of my head. When I was, I'd say in my early 30s, the reason I started kind of doing a bit of writing, I worked in EBS in Athy, the building society. And when there was things going wrong with our computer system, we'd be linked to the Dublin, to the head office. We would, we'd have to talk to the IT department, and you'd be ringing them. And there's this woman, I think her name's Miriam, I can't remember. She wouldn't talk on the phone. So I used to, being Scottish, I just can't help myself. I talk shite. And I'd be talking to her because there'd be these silences. And one day I rang her, and it was actually Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? Are you going out or whatever? And she said, no, I'm going home to my cat. And she had nobody. So I sent her an email, a little poem for her about Valentine's Day and about her going to the cat or something, and it just cheered her up. So then every so often when there was something wrong, I would send her an email telling her about what was wrong with the computer in a poem. I wouldn't just, you know, and I did it quite a few times. And then I think there's a competition through the ABS, and there was a poem about, or you had to write in something. So I'd gone to the Police concert, the reunion concert, I think it was in Lansdowne Road at the time. So I wrote a poem about going to the concert, and I won a voucher or something. I bought myself a really hideous tracksuit. I think it was a men's tracksuit, but I loved it. Really, oh, it was horrible. It was like, just never fitted me. So that was my kind of first thing. And then I thought, you know, I might try and write some songs. So I contacted, you probably know Mo Walsh, you know, Eamon Walsh, young Eamon, Mo. I contacted him because I know him. Now, you know, their parents, their grandparents, seems I'm a bit older than them. And I used to work with his cousin Debbie, Denise, in the TV shop in WRTV. So I used to come in when he was a young lad, so I knew him. So I contacted him to see about trying to maybe do some lyrics. So I tried a couple of songs, but my kids were small at the time. My dad wasn't well at home in Scotland. Oh God, get upset. So I stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you write lyrics, with a view to, like, the last two songs, is the first time you've actually decided, you know, these are going to go out there into the world?
Oh God, yeah. I hadn't really tried. Like, as I said, stopped writing for a while, and I came back to it. Oh God, sorry.
You want to stop?
What?
Do you need to stop?
Just for a sec. God. Told you I was an emotional wreck.
It's powerful stuff, you know. Lyrics. I've looked at the lyrics, and you know, words can have amazing power, and that's why I'm curious. You know, and I'd ask about the process up to, you know, a certain age that you mentioned, and you know, I'm just curious, I suppose, as well, about, you know, how did you feel, or what came up in your very being when you approached Gosia in the car park and said, you know, knowing that all this is behind, you know, and the lyrics, and they're all there, and the process and stuff like that. Did you shit yourself asking her, or was it that time? Were you ready?
God, no, I was ready. It's just before that I wasn't. And then, God bless Facebook, I started writing things on Facebook. I'd write poems about, it could be funny things, it could be somebody's pissed me off, anything. And that was how I would kind of articulate how I was feeling.
Okay. So Fading Queen, as it's ready to go, it's out there, you know, by now, when it's out there. How do you feel when, like, do you feel it's done and then bring on the next project, or do you wait and see how it goes? Or tell me a little bit about like because it's a piece of you, you know?
It is. I mean, I'd like to see if other people connect. As I say, it's about me and menopause, but it can be for anybody, whatever they're feeling, you know? And I just want to see, you know, if people appreciate it.
Okay. Who inspires you musically? I'm curious. As I mentioned, the minute I heard Fading Queen, I heard kind of Erasure things going on in the background. I love Erasure. I've seen them loads of times. So, you know, and it's I'm curious, tell me who inspires you musically and why.
Anybody, like apart really from country music. I'm not really into that, although their lyrics can be powerful. I would listen to any kind of type of music, anything, you know, and if a lyric grabs me, great, you know. I'm not a kind of musical snob, shall we say. Okay. You know, I listen to anything, you know, and when it comes to lyrics or writing, it's something that annoys me or makes me feel happy or whatever. Okay. You know.
And do you have many songs? Like you've been writing for a while, so do you have many songs that you'd say, okay, let's put these together, Gosia? Let's like, is there an album in the pipeline, or what's the next steps?
No, no. I think she has about 4 songs now. I did do a collaboration with another local chap, Shane Sullivan, and that song. And they did it through the backline. They got somebody else to demo he put the music to, and he kind of helped kind of reshape the verse or the chorus to it. So he does have stuff, but I don't have that many songs because this is doing poems I've done for a while, whether they're good or they're bad or indifferent. That's a learning process. But the lyric writing, again, it is kind of new to me. Okay. Because I've only like Gosia, that song is the first song that it was a poem, and she changed the first one, Let Me In. I changed it to be a song, to the lyrics. Okay. And then I've done a couple since. So it's only been really, I would say, the last 2 years that I've made any attempt to try and do lyrics. And as I say, I'm learning. I don't have that many. It'd be great to have an album, but who knows?
Okay. And is it much of a change, would you say? I mean, there's obviously a structure when you're marrying melody and musical structure to lyrics. Do you find there's much of a change, or is there anything that you have had come back to you say, and you're like, no, that's not going to work? Or is it generally kind of a flexible, organic process? Or is there a major shift basically what you've written and what gets produced?
Not too much. Like, I mean, as I say, I'm doing the lyrics. So when Gosia tries to sing it, like a few times she'd say to me, those words aren't quite matching, you know, I'm having to change the tempo. So I might have to cut words out, or I think the first song, I think there was an extra verse or something, and it wasn't working, so I had to cut it. She said it was just too long, because you know yourself with a lot of songs, especially if you are thinking towards things being on the radio, that's what you aim and hope for. There's only a certain, I think there's 3.5 minutes, maybe 4 at the most. You have to be careful of those things. And also as well with the structure of a song, it seems to alter, I think, through the ages or for the years, you know. Okay. So, but mainly it's not that often that she's had to change anything so far. But as I say, this is all new anyway. Okay.
So what's the most challenging thing for you guys? So you have, like, Fading Queen is there and it's produced and it's a fantastic track. What are the challenges that you guys face in terms of getting it out there, or like what's happening, or what's?
It's a learning process, you know, as to how do you go about it. What do you do? Do you try and get it on the radio, or, you know, it's that kind of that process. Like the writing the lyrics was fine, the melody was fine, and Gosia got it recorded, and, you know, getting the mix, and those things were actually, I'm presuming they were okay. I just had the lyrics. I'm like, it's like a man getting a woman pregnant. You get her pregnant, and then she has to cook the dinner or cook, you know, have the baby. Do you know what I mean? Like I've done the easy bit. Do you know? That's what it's like. It's
an interesting analogy, but
I've rode her silly, got her pregnant. Now she has to grow the baby.
You look after that sort of thing. I mean,
I'll sit back and have a cup of tea.
Yeah. Do you think in the day and age, and I actually had a discussion with this with another musician recently, and I think we've potentially, hopefully, reached saturation point with the likes of X Factor and stuff, and even at Electric Picnic, there was a lot of, I suppose, there's a lot of focus on emerging talent and emerging musicians and the non-polished stuff. Do you feel that that's echoed in the work you're doing now? Do you feel that kind of, X Factor is kind of a thing of the past, that kind of stuff? Like, where does your music, do you feel it's going to be a little bit easier, I suppose, in that sense? Or
I would hope so. I mean, you're kind of relying on the Spotify and all those kind of platforms to try and promote it and for people to listen to it. So instead of going on the television, whatever, you're kind of moving with the times and using social media to promote yourself. Again, me being older, I don't understand all this. Like, I'm lucky that we got on Zoom today. So, but it's a learning process, and both Gosia and I have been in contact with a guy. He lives in Athy, he's not locally from Athy, to help us use kind of Facebook and social media to try and promote ourselves. It's all different. It is different than X Factor and all that, But then it seems to be a limited lifespan on those actors or those singers, because there's not that many that have any continuity with their career, really.
Yeah. A lot of it's commercial and it's contractual and stuff like that.
Ching. How much money can we? It's like a cash cow.
Yeah.
Do you know?
100%. I mean, I'm with X Factor. I suppose it's year on year. There has to be a new winner every year, and that's. So it's interesting. I think it's good. As I said, like with the likes of Electric Picnic and the support, the smaller stages and stuff like that. It's even the bigger stage. I mean, picture this: the guys from Athy as well. On the main stage of Picnic. That's a fantastic achievement as well.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself doing that?
What?
Picnic.
Oh, me on stage, it must be joking. I'd empty the place in no time. You could put me on Sunday evening and I would empty Electric Picnic in no time. They'd have no problem getting rid of everybody if I tried to sing.
What about Fading Queen? What about the brand? What about the product?
Song, the product, yeah. If you wanted me to sing, no. But I think the song, because it's a good song. It's a poppy song. It's catchy. It is. I'd like to think people would feel a bit kind of uplifted listening to it.
So Fading Queen is out, and you have. I'm going to give you a scenario, right? So you have the first, CD, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you give it to, living or dead? Who do you want to be in receipt of the first? Who do you want to hear first?
Who would I want to give it to first, or for them to listen to it first? Oh, God. Oh, God, that's a difficult one. God, maybe, if God existed.
God, yeah.
There
you go. Yeah, here's Brian.
No, I don't know. I suppose, well, my dad's passed away. Would it be nice for him to hear it? John Lennon, maybe. There you go. I don't know. Maybe Bjorn and Benny from ABBA. They'd be good for them to listen to.
That's doable. Everything is doable.
Johnny Logan. It could have gone for next year's Eurovision.
Okay, so anyone listening to the podcast who knows any of those people,
to John Lennon.
Well, possibly. You never know. So look, I suppose in saying that, and the important thing is, with this podcast, we've listeners in Spain, we've listeners in Netherlands, we've listeners in Canada. It's like that. It happened, and it's very, very grateful for that as well. But if each person listening to this right now says, do you know what? I'm going to have a listen to that, and I'm going to share it once, and that's what you're saying. I mean, so do. So when you're listening to this, go have a look at Spotify and Gosia and Fading Queen, and give it an old share. So tell me the next. What's next for Debs and Gosia? What's next in the pipeline, if anything?
Well, Gosia is recording her own song today. I don't know the title of it. She said she's written the lyrics herself. And she has the couple of songs that I had given to her. I think she's going to do something with them. I've been the guy, Rob, that both Gosia and I have made contact with, that's helping us kind of trying to learn how to promote ourselves. He's put me in contact with a girl over in England. She does kind of dance music, but it could be a foot in the door. So I have to send her lyrics for a song. So we'll see what happens there, you know. Yeah, I'm just going to keep trying writing lyrics and push myself and see if anybody's interested in them, you know. Like, yeah, that's basically it. That's in the future, you know.
Okay. So Fading Queen was released on the 25th of September. And
Yeah.
if you can tell us where we can find you so it's on, you mentioned Spotify.
I'm not sure what other platforms Gosia is putting it on, because Gosia is doing that, but I know it's definitely Spotify, and I think on YouTube as well. There's a video to go with it, and you'll see me in it.
Excellent. And do you guys have a website or an Instagram, or can anyone find you on the socials?
Gosia has her own page. It's GosiaG Music. At the moment, I'm just starting to put up my own page. At the moment, I have calling it the collective. Like, I've just really, yesterday, I think, I kind of started it. I haven't done an awful lot with it. It's a learning process for me. So, but that's where I am on the collective.
The collective on Facebook, GosiaG Music, and then Spotify and YouTube.
And yeah,
Debs, it's been
platforms are on as well.
Cool. Debs, it's been wonderful chatting to you. Time flies on these things. We're coming on time as we speak. So if you anything you want to, you can sign off. Anything you want to say before we head off into the wilds of the internet?
Just I hope everybody enjoys the single and dance like there's no tomorrow. Dance around your handbags, your bum bags, whatever you like. Just dance and smile and be happy. There you go.
Debs, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Debs. See ya. Bye.
And that's it for another week. Thanks for joining us this morning, and do join us next time on Be Your Best You. Have a good week.